Thank you, Coach. Next up will be Coach Billups, whose 31 career wins are the most through 2 seasons by a coach in the men's program history during the Division I era here at the University of Denver. Coach Billups last year led the team to an 8-6 mark and a 3rd place finish in the Summit League, which was also the best since joining the league back in 2013. He's brought a high and exciting and fun style of basketball to play, already setting the Division I single-season team scoring record at 75.8 points per game during the 26-27 season. So, Coach, with that, it's all yours.
Thanks, Chris. First of all, thank you guys for being here. It's an honor to have not 1, not 2, but 3 media days. So I appreciate you guys being here. First, I'd like to just address having 7 new players. I think that's the most consistent question I've gotten this fall. We went up to Sioux Falls for our media day for our league, and that was immediately the first question. You know, how does Ronnie Harrell Jr. and Torrey Miller, who are postgraduate transfers, fit into what we're trying to do? Well, they are amazing in our locker room. They're amazing out on the floor. They're amazing at growing our culture to where we think we should be at. And each and every day is a learning opportunity for me, but also for our young guys. And Torrey and Ronnie bring that leadership and that ownership to our program. Talk about 5 freshmen. They've changed the way we approach practice as a staff. They've changed the way we approach lifting weights with their energy, their effort, their seriousness about our sport and our game and what we're trying to do here. And they make our team extremely competitive and better every single day. And I'm happy to be able to say that I'm their coach. And I didn't know that I was getting that from these 5 guys when we brought them in. Even in recruiting them, I didn't know that we were getting this competitive spirit. But when they got here in June, it's been a pleasure to walk into practice. Can't say that it's been a pleasure to walk out of practice, but it's been a pleasure to walk into practice. The expectations that I have for our season, I'd love to be able to say we're going to win 31 games and go to the NCAA tournament and win a few games there. I think that's the possibility, but the expectation is, like Coach Turgeon said, just win every day, win every game, especially home games, but approach every game as if we can win it. I don't know that that's been our philosophies. I don't know that that's been our culture here until this year. And although we as a staff prepare for every single game the same and expect to win, I don't know that our student athletes believe that we can win. And now this year we have that camaraderie in our locker room, we have that fight in our belly, and we have that ownership mentally to be able to win every game that I've scheduled. It's going to be tough. I've scheduled a really gruesome non-conference with so many road games, but the games that we do play at home, we have to win. There hasn't been one team, even me here as a student athlete, that went undefeated at home, and that's a huge goal that's written on the board in the locker room. That's exactly what we want out of it, is to be able to win that small. It's a small victory, but to say that we've done something that's never been done before, which is be undefeated at home, that's a huge goal for us. But with all that being said, obviously being picked 3rd in the Summit League is good. It's not outstanding. It's not great, but we know who has the target on the back of their jerseys. For us, I think that's kind of an unspoken thing in our locker room, that we know who we need to beat, and we can't risk competing at the 1st and 2nd level of our league by not competing every single day in practice, and we win each practice. We've lost a few out of 21 practices so far, and that's just honest, but every single day is a chance to get better. It's a chance to grow. It's a chance to be better leaders, and I think we're making a conscious effort to do that every day. So as you can see, I'm pretty excited about our team. It's been fun to be around them and learn more about our freshmen and our new guys, but I'm excited about the year. I'll take any questions.
Coach, let's talk about some of the recruits first. And from watching practices, One of the guys that jumps out at me, and I don't know that I thought maybe redshirt, first of all, was Joe Lansing. I watched this guy play. He's got a little bit of Pemberton in him.
Which kind of Pemberton? But
not quite as irritating.
Joe Lansing, and not just Joe, but all 5 freshmen have a basketball IQ that you need to be successful at this level. Joe Lansing doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He shoots the ball really well. He has this urge to be our best defender. And he's not by any stretch of the imagination, but he wants to be. And like you said with Jake Pemberton, I challenge Jake to be the best defender that he possibly could be, our best defender on ball. And Joe Lansing is trying his hardest to be a mix of Joe Rosga and Jake Pemberton. And he brings it every single day. And that he doesn't, and Coach Turgeon alluded to this with Claire, but he doesn't take a day off. Of course, he's an 18-year-old kid, and his concentration lacks at times, but his effort is always consistent. And that's on down the page with Taylor Gatling, with Jace Townsend, Alp Kernaz, and David Nzekwezi. The effort of our team now, it never wearies. It's always at 100. Our concentration is where we need to get better at.
Can I follow up with Ronnie if I can? And that just watching him and how he goes about his business, that gives you the threat, not only inside, but the ability to bring people out to him.
Absolutely. And Ronnie, as of the last week and a half, has shown up early for practice to shoot, has stayed late to stretch and take care of his body. He's a vegan, which I'm not sure how that helps him as a basketball player with his strength, but he's committed to doing things right. He's committed to growing himself and our program, and he's pretty prideful about having Denver over on his chest, and I can appreciate that.
Speak to, with the graduate transfers, which is something in college basketball is becoming more of the norm than not. But you have a guy like Roscoe who's been here for 4 years, and all of a sudden you're trying to mix him with, 2 guys that have come from really, really good programs, and how does all that fit?
Joe Rosga is such a good person. It's like a perfect marriage. Joe kind of indirectly said that he needed some help, and this is the help that I was able to go get him. And he has no excuse to not trust his teammates. He has no excuse not to lead his teammates because, like you said, he's been here for so long, and he has a sense of ownership in our locker room. He needs to be more vocal, but this is the help he asked for. And you look at our schedule, he asked to play top 25, top 10 caliber programs, and I want to do that. So I'm following Joe's lead, and I'm going to coach him as hard as I coach the freshmen, but he's Joe Rosky. Joe's always good, and he's good every day.
Your non-conference schedule. It seems like college basketball gets started earlier and earlier. And, again, you're playing a very, very good non-conference schedule, but the length of the season, how does that change things for you?
It changes a lot, especially in our office with recruiting, and our assistant coaches do an unbelievable job in recruiting. Coach Patton's been out for 3 days now, and Coach Fickey is leaving tomorrow. Coach Snell left this morning. It makes the year so much longer, having 42 days before our first game to start practice and practice 30 days within the 42. It makes the season extremely long. And today's practice plan is we're going to lift and we're going to do yoga and try to get them off their feet and off the court and just try to prepare them for a long season because it is. But, it's a gift and a curse. I get to see our guys early. I get to start preparing for games and for long stretches in the season where their body and their mental capacity is at whim. So it's a fun time to be able to be in the gym and have 20 hours a week versus having 4 hours a week for me as a coach. But for the student athletes, it's probably pretty tough.
Coach, last one for me. When you mix 7 new players, you've got to have the guys that have been here continue to carry the load. And I look at Day Murky, who may be the most athletic player in the conference, where he may go this year. And also Jake Kraft, I've noticed him in practice and his game improving a lot.
Just maturity with those guys. And the biggest growth that you'll see from Jake and Day is maturity. They've always had the skill. They've always had the athleticism. they've always been able to shoot. They just weren't ready to make the big steps and the big shots and the big defensive possessions. I think now that they see that Ronnie and Torrey's here, they have some competition, and that competition makes our team better. And not just those two, but you look at Elvin Rodriguez, he's progressing every single day. You look at Abby Akintola, as a senior, Abby is much better now than when I first got the job, and he's taken on his role, and he's been great at it. So everybody on our team has not only got stronger, got faster, got more athletic, but basketball-wise, they're better as well. So I'm excited again about our team.
Rodney, with Torrey, you're familiar with him. How much did that get into I need him for my team? And how much was the recruiting of getting him here, and has it all been what you expected to be, both of you guys?
For Torrey, the recruitment was easy. It was almost having the same identical conversations that we had when he was a senior in Kansas, and bringing him to Colorado. It was almost identical. Now, getting him into school, and he suffered an injury in the spring. Getting him healthy, that's been the hardest part. But Torrey's such an unbelievable kid with an unbelievable winning spirit. It's been easy. It's been easy, and he echoes everything that we say as a staff, either on the sideline during practice or in the locker room after practice, before and after practice. So it's been good, but the recruiting part of it was easy, and that's just a testament of his character.
And you said you guys are picked third, and you know what the two teams are targeting. But you guys being picked third, do you think the other teams in the Southern League have decided Denver's one of the targets too?
Absolutely, and I like that pressure as a coach, and as a competitor, I like that pressure. But we're not picked first, so I like telling our team that until we are picked first, we're last, and we have to win every single day, every single practice, every single drill, every single possession, for us to have the respect that we deserve. And until then, we have the arrow, we don't have the target. Thanks.